Get ready for the action, because AEW is leveling up the game with a massive new venture. All Elite Wrestling and Scrungo Games have locked down a multi-year contract to produce Dice Knockout, a brand new tabletop fighting game that is about to hit the market. This isn't just another game. Players will be building epic combos and unleashing iconic wrestling moves against each other in intense two-player brawls. We're talking about a game featuring top talent like Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, and timeless Tony Storm. So you need to see how AEW is bringing its stars to the tabletop arena. This partnership is huge, and the details about how these wrestling legends will translate into a competitive game are absolutely electrifying. Next involved was a strategic move to protect the integrity of MMA long-term. We break down the arguments for and against such high-profile bouts, and what this means for the sport moving forward. And finally, it's time to settle the score with the biggest wrestling news of the week. We're counting the biggest winners and losers from the week of May 18th, 2026, covering everything from WWE's women's division struggles to Royce Key's surprising main event appearance. We also dissect the confusing storyline surrounding Will Ospreay's match and the buzz around Trick Williams. Don't miss a single moment of this analysis. Sign up for our free newsletter right now and make us your preferred search source on Google so you never miss a major wrestling headline. All Elite Wrestling is making a major expansion into the tabletop gaming world with the launch of a new fighting game titled Dice Knockout. All Elite Wrestling and Scrungo Games have entered into a multi-year contract to produce the game. Dice Knockout will be sold in two-player sets designed for friends to engage in an all-out brawl. Players will build up combos, inflict damage, and utilize iconic wrestling moves throughout the match. The inaugural set will feature top AEW talent, including Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, and timeless Tony Storm, among others. Heather Den Blaker, CEO of Scrungo Games, expressed excitement about the collaboration, stating, "Our team has a deep passion for both tabletop games and professional wrestling. When the opportunity to bring the two together arose, we were absolutely thrilled. Working with AEW and the tabletop enthusiasts on their team has been inspiring. They have been instrumental in bringing this project to life. I couldn't be prouder to see this game, which is spearheaded by women, one as lead game designer and one as head graphic artist, become a reality." Scrungo Games, which is supported by the creators behind Joking Hazard and Cyanide and Happiness, began its tabletop gaming journey with a highly successful crowdfunding campaign for Joking Hazard, which secured over 63,000 backers and raised $3.2 million. The company's existing portfolio includes best-selling party games such as Trial by Trolley, Texas Hold It, and Master Dater, alongside award-winning titles like Monkey Mayhem and Sausage. Chris Jericho is navigating a surprising intersection of professional wrestling and the world of performance, revealing recent legal battles and unique professional credentials. The former WWE star, now known as Jericho, discussed his career trajectory, WWE rumors, and AEW prospects on the Masked Man show ahead of AEW Double or Nothing. A significant point of discussion centered on a past legal dispute with Larry Zbysko, the original living legend of AWA. Zbysko had previously sued Jericho over a t-shirt design featuring living legend Chris Jericho. Jericho recounted the situation, noting that he defended his claims, suggesting that the evidence presented, including references from Pro Wrestling Illustrated, was fabricated. He emphasized that he has reclaimed his status as a living legend after 15 years. Jericho further elaborated on the technical aspects of his in-ring presentation, specifically referencing a fiery spot. He explained that executing a fireball move in Nevada requires formal documentation. That was something that nobody had seen for years in pro wrestling. We were in Vegas, and I had to get a magician's license for real to throw a fireball, because that's the rules that the commission has, which I still renew every year and carry with me at all times. So yes, I'm a licensed magician in Nevada. Adding to the high-stakes narrative, Jericho shared an account of a near-arrest incident during a Washington, D.C. shoot. While portraying a conspiracy victim, the crew was unprepared for the situation. We went to Washington, D.C., and I was a conspiracy victim, and when we showed up, I thought the camera guys were going to know what they wanted us to do, and the camera guys thought that I would know. So neither one of us had any idea. We just walked around D.C. and the White House, and we were filming me in front of the White House doing this speech, and we almost got arrested because you can't film the White House with cameras. Jericho is set to return to the ring this Sunday at AEW Double or Nothing, leading the Stadium Stampede team composed of Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin against Ricochet's group at Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens. Mark Shapiro, president of TKO, has weighed in on the high-profile bout between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, suggesting the contest was more of a spectacle than a meaningful event for the sport of mixed martial arts in the long term. The fight, billed as the biggest women's fight in MMA history, saw Rousey secure a quick submission victory over Carano in just 17 seconds at MVP MMA 1. Rousey had initially pitched the matchup to the UFC, but the event ultimately aired on Netflix under the MVP banner. Speaking at the J.P. Morgan Global Technology and Media Conference, Shapiro addressed questions regarding the fight and the decision to pass on it. Shapiro stated that the fight was pitched to TKO, but they declined the opportunity to ensure nothing was taken from Netflix. He emphasized that Netflix is a major player in the big event business, seeking spectacles that appeal to a global audience. Shapiro noted that when assessing the potential matchup, industry figures like Hunter Campbell and Dana White indicated that the fight would conclude rapidly. He concluded that a fight played out in such a manner does not benefit the sport of MMA long-term, especially when viewed through the lens of a major platform like Netflix. Shapiro characterized the event as more of a stunt than a meaningful MMA event, while acknowledging the guaranteed viewership numbers stemming from Ronda Rousey's legendary win. The event also featured other notable bouts, including Nate Diaz and Francis Ngannou. The wrestling landscape saw significant shifts this week, with ongoing storylines in WWE and AEW drawing attention. In WWE, the women's division remains a point of contention, with both the WWE Women's Champion Rhea Ripley and the World Women's Champion Liv Morgan showing limited activity despite recent major events. Ripley is involved in a tag match against Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab at SNME, while Morgan has seen minimal challengers on Raw, potentially due to an injury to former champion Stephanie Vacker. The lack of title defenses for either champion since WrestleMania 42 has raised concerns about the division's momentum heading into upcoming events. Meanwhile, AEW's women's division faced challenges as their World Championship match involving Thekla felt disjointed, failing to establish a clear challenger following Toni Storm's departure. Fans are currently feeling disillusioned with the direction of women's wrestling in both major promotions. In ROH, Athena secured a significant victory by retaining the ROH Women's World Championship in a 6-woman no-DQ bout at Supercard of Honor 2026. This reign marks 1,255 days, positioning her to potentially surpass Roman Reigns' record, highlighting the growing prestige of the title within ROH. The stability of Athena's reign was also noted, as she avoided a loss in the recent match. On the main card, Royce Keys experienced a surprising moment on WWE SmackDown, earning a main event spot against Gunther after successfully challenging for a contract. Despite ultimately losing to Gunther, Keys' involvement in the championship scene was deemed a major positive for him. Conversely, John Cena's proposed John Cena Classic tournament concept was criticized by some for being rushed and poorly explained, leading to its immediate pivot to an exhibition format, which drew scrutiny regarding the company's handling of his post-retirement narrative. In AEW, storylines surrounding Will Ospreay and Ace Austin on Dynamite were met with mixed reactions. Critics questioned the lengthy and overly worked-over nature of the match, suggesting Ospreay's performance did not align with the expected profile for a top babyface, raising questions about his future direction following a recent injury. On the WWE side, Trick Williams garnered significant positive attention, with his entrance on SmackDown generating intense hometown support, signaling a potentially organic rise for the star, despite some skepticism regarding his character presentation.